Welcome back to Hannity, and here is more of my interview with 2016 GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. This is an amazing poll. 29.1% you have in South Carolina. Ben Carson, 16. Carly, 11. Ted Cruz, 8%. All of you are insurgent candidates. What does that tell us about where we are politically in this country today?
Well, I think more than anything else, it tells you that people are very unhappy. They're tired of looking at what's going on everywhere. I mean, we don't have victories anymore. We never win. We lose on trade. We lose militarily. Look at ISIS. Can you believe this situation? We lose at every single thing we do as a country. We lose on Obamacare, something people don't even talk about, and yet their premiums, as you really cover pretty well, are going up 45, 35, 55%. Nobody even talks about it anymore. They're almost complacent. They're saying, hey, my premiums are up 55%. We're losing in and they're tired of it. So I think we're all doing well because people are just disgusted with what's going on in our country.
All right, you know something? I think that moment, it's not often you hear a presidential candidate, although real people use the word BS. It's not often you hear a candidate, but I think it's probably true. If they wouldn't be competing with each other for this position if they really loved each other that much. You've been battling Rubio a little bit. You've been battling Jeb a little bit. Do you think that helps you? You always say you counterpunch. You only respond. You won't attack first. Has that pretty much been your rule in life?
Well, it is my rule. Certainly, it has been my rule here. And every single person that's hit me, I've hit them back. And most of them are out of the race now. If you look at Rand Paul, is down to 1%. And I don't want to even mention their names. I'm embarrassed to mention their names. But Perry hit me hard. And I thought he was sort of a friend of mine. All of a sudden, he hit me hard because he was dying with this whole situation. And you just look at Walker, who was really nice and a friend of mine. And then he hit me because he had to pick up and he's out. So far, everybody that's hit me is out. It's called all talk, no action.
I've said for a couple of years now that we need a new speaker. I think John Boehner was weak. I think he was not focused. He didn't fight. He would surrender before a battle even started. There are four big issues that Republicans, I think, have dealt poorly with. One, on immigration. They haven't built the fence. They funded 100%. Obama's executive order on immigration. Two would be, I think they're caving now on Planned Parenthood. Three would be this Iranian deal. And they never used their constitutional power, the power that Congress has, of the purse. I had Kevin McCarthy on the other night. I said, will you use that power? If you're president, will you urge Republicans to fight? And if it means getting blamed for a government shutdown, to use the power to defund these things which are hurting the country so badly?
I would, and one of the things you didn't mention was Obamacare again. You know, people are sort of forgetting about it. You know, Obamacare, they could have ended Obamacare if they stuck together. They didn't stick together. You'd have a certain group that wanted to fight it. But, you know, it's a funny thing. I've watched these politicians. They get elected, and they're all full of vim and vigor. They get down to Washington. They're in these beautiful cathedrals. They have these gorgeous vaulted ceilings and columns, and something happens. They become weak. They want to stay, or I don't know what it is. But all of a sudden, they got elected for a reason. They don't do it. Yeah, the answer is we have to do something. But Obamacare is another one that you have to put on that list because that could have been broken.
Yeah, that was on my list.
Obviously, we got a horrible ruling. Well, we got a horrible two rulings by Justice Roberts, who, by the way, was a Bush appointment. Two horrible rulings. And a friend of Jeb Bush, actually. He's the one that pushed him. But we got two horrible rulings for him. It should have died twice. And, you know, you can almost call it Roberts care just as much as Obamacare. But if the Republicans stuck together, they could have ended it.
Ted Cruz was the only one.
Which is a shame.
Ted Cruz stood alone to fulfill the promise that every other one of them were made. And he became a pariah. That speaks volumes about how timid they are. Last question, it's about Hillary. We now discovered the FBI apparently is going to be able to recover the 33,000 deleted emails, or at least a good percentage of them. We know now that the Russians tried on 5 separate occasions. We don't know yet if they were successful hacking into her email account. And we now know the number of emails that were considered classified are more than 400, even though she denied that she ever sent or received classified material. You have said you don't think she gets the nomination. Biden seems reticent, doesn't want to get into this race. How do you think this plays out?
Well, I didn't actually say I think she probably does. I actually think she probably does get the nomination. What I did say is she shouldn't be allowed to have the nomination because what she did is illegal. What she did is far worse than General Petraeus, who went through hell. And as you know, he was convicted of a very serious situation. And he did 5% of what she did, maybe less than that. I just don't think that the prosecutors, who are Democrats, are going to do anything about it, which is, pretty serious stuff. I just don't see it happening from that standpoint. Many people have said, and many scholars have said, not only on your show, by the way, they've said it everywhere, that what she did is a criminal act. Yeah. So we'll have to see. But I don't think the prosecutors are going to prosecute.
All right, last question. You laid out your plan. I thought it was a very conservative plan. I think bringing back the trillions of dollars in repatriation that companies have parked offshore because they don't want to get taxed, that's a good part of it. Lowering the corporate rate, I think, makes America a tax safe haven. Telling couples that make $50,000 a year, you win. That's the tax return you fill out. Some have said it's not revenue neutral. What is your response to them?
Well, the economy is going to grow at such a rapid pace. It's so dynamic. It's such a good plan. It's a big reduction in taxes for really everybody. We get rid of some of the bad loopholes, like the carried interest, which is a little complicated for some people, so we don't have to, but it's going. The hedge fund guys benefited. But the fact is the economy, everyone's going to benefit. We're going to create jobs. And in addition to that, I'm doing a lot of cost cutting. We will cut a lot of the waste that you have in government, which is enormous.
You mean $1 million soccer fields soccer fields for terrorists? I'm like, we are dumb.
You have waste that's beyond. So we've got a great plan. It's been really well received by a lot of people, and we're very proud of it. It's going to create jobs, and it's going to create a great economy, and it's going to lower taxes. So
unsolicited information. I like the plan. I would add energy independence to it because I think that would add a lot of jobs to the economy, too.
Well, we will have energy independence. I guarantee you that.